All right, welcome to our week 4 video for the fourth week of CIE 101. Back in the drawing that we created in our lab, and I'm just going to bring this up. I did figure out one area that I was having some trouble in, and that was the tracking mode. So what I'd like to do is just go over that, and I took this circle out intentionally, and that circle is down 4 from this down 6 from this corner, and over 4. So we go down to our polar tracking and we click on this little arrow and select track settings. Make sure that mine was set to track orthogonally only. Set it to track using all polar angle settings, and relative to last segment is fine, and then just say OK. Now what happens is I've got my circle tool, center from radius, or center to radius I should say. Just place your mouse anyway. Just type TK for tracking. Put your mouse right here, and I'm going to hit my left mouse button. Pull it straight down. I'm going to key in 6. Left mouse button. Move your mouse to the left. Oops, wants to go this way. It didn't work right that time. Hold on. Let me try it again. It worked just a second ago, I swear. TK. We'll put it right there, and left click. I'm going to move this over a distance of 4, enter, and then move it down a distance of 6, enter, and now it's right there. All I have to do is hit my right mouse button, and I'm going to key in 2 for the radius. All right, so it worked that time. So I'm going to Control Z just to check it one more time. I'll try it the other way and see if I can get that to work. I think it might have been my snap was trying to get to that center point. So let me just try it again, and I'm going to hit TK, left click, just going to move it down a little bit, type 6, enter, and 4, enter. There it is, there's my point, and just hit your right mouse button, that sets your data point, and then we're just going to key in a distance of 2, and there it is. We got to put a center mark there, so we'll go back to our dimension layer. And whoops, didn't want that. I just want to change it to a dimension. There we go. And we'll just type, again, we can go to annotate, select this, or you could type in dim center. We'll click the center mark. I'm just going to select this object. And then what we'll do is select this item and this item, go back to home, and just change those to center marks. Hit escape. Now for those of you that didn't get caught up, remember, you're going to type LTSCALE and set it to 2. That sets your center mark so it meets the scale. And I don't have a layout here, so we're going to go ahead and import a layout by just right-clicking on Layout 1. I did this in the other lab, but we'll go ahead and do it again. From Template. Now I can go to here to where my homework was located, my CE 101, and select Title Block and just double-click. And in this case, we want the 11 by 17 title block. So just click on this one and say OK. And now when we click this, we'll see our title block come up. So we determined we're going to use a 1:6 scale, which is a little unorthodox, but it fits okay, and we're not going to be scaling it out too much anyway. So we'll use a 1:6 scale. We go to our paper mode. We're going to drop this down. Now I have a 1:6 here, but you may not see yours because I had to create it. So you go to Custom. We're going to create. We're going to say Add 1:6. We're going to type in 1:6, and down here the paper units are going to stay at 1. The drawing units would stay at 6. You're going to say OK. I'll just say yes. I would like to redefine it and say OK again. And now when we click on 1:6. We can fit this easily on our screen. And I had placed some text down here that just says Plate 2 from text. Book, it should say. Let's fix that. I think I can just double click on this. There we go, textbook. So our colors need to be fixed now. So we're going to stay in our model mode. We're going to go to our layer properties. And when this comes up, we'll slide it all the way to the right. And anything that's red, I want to print out as black. That's my plate. And I want it to be a 0.50 millimeter line weight. My dimensions are going to show up as black. And I want those to show up as a line weight of about 0.18 should do it. Close this out. We're going to go back now to our paper section. So just click where it says model and we're going to go to paper. Going to double click on our title block and we're going to change this one to plate number 2. Hopefully that fits in there. We'll change our date to 2-2-16 or whatever date you happen to be working on it. And our scale now we'll just put in a 1:6 and hit apply. So it's very easy now to change our title blocks. When we get ready to print this out, we're just going to right click on our tab and say plot. And I don't need to see that all the time because we're basically going to be doing one sheet. So just say plot to a single sheet. We're going to change this up here to DWG to PDF.PC3 seems to work pretty good. I'll do a quick preview. Make sure everything's going to fit on here, which looks like it will. And we can zoom in and check our line weights, which look pretty good, but our center marks aren't showing. So let's get out of there. So cancel this. Our center marks aren't showing. So I'm going to type in LT scale and key in 1. Oh, that's not it. I think I got to be in the model scale, but go back to your model. There it goes. PSLT scale and set that to 0. There we go. And now we'll go back to our 11:17 and type LT scale. We'll set it to 2. There we go. Now they show up. So we can go back to our model. Again, this looks good now. All our line weights are correct and our line styles are correct. Right click. We're going to say plot. Adobe PDF is not the one we want. Now if we want this to always show up here, we can just change this to, we can add it, and we're going to call it CIE 101 plot setup 1, just in case we decide to change it later. And that way it will remember that. We'll just hit preview again. Looks good. Line weights are good. Text is all where it should be. 2 places, 4 places. Kiddos look good. And we'll just hit our print menu up here. We're going to put this in my PDF file under my desktop, CIE 101 home, PDFs, and I'll just rewrite this one. Plate Project 2 C Junkins, hit save. Yes, I want to overwrite it. And there it is. I mean, it looks a little bit different now, but if you actually zoom in, the more you zoom in, the more you see that it's a pretty good line weight on your drawings. Everything looks nice and all good. You can check it out and close it. And again, to import this material into Blackboard, you go to the Blackboard site, and I don't have this week set up in there, so we'll just look at week 3. I'll go to my Blackboard site. See if my login remembered me. Caps lock's on, sorry. Pardon me. Oh, come on, I just did it. Caps lock is off this time. Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm in. Click in the combined class. We go to our course materials. In your case, you're going to go to week 4, but right now we can just see week 3. So you just click on this box, or right on the title. And assignment submission, just say attach file. You're going to browse my computer. I'm going to go to my home. There's my project 2. Just say open. Pops it in there. I can put a comment if I want. When I go to the grade center and just look at what needs grading, or Eric goes in and says what needs grading. There's our assignments for week 3. And we can see all of them. I can pick on Alyssa because I know I've seen hers in here. So if I just click on this, I think I just need to maybe double click it. It's getting there. And then what we'll see is Alyssa's drawing with her screen. Everything's in place. We'll go ahead and grade that and pop it right up here. She'll immediately see what the grade is. So that's how we're going to work things. Not picking on you, Alyssa. You did a good job. So anyway, we'll go back and get out of this now. Look at our drawing. And I just want to make sure I save it. So I just do a file, save. Now at the end of this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about scales because we're going to get into that in the next week or so on some scaling exercises on output of these drawings. But for now, I want to focus on something different. We'll go to our model, and this is something we'll be working on next week, and that's creating blocks. And the assignment for this week is to read chapter 6. And hey, it's a very short chapter, so no big deal. Let's close this out and say, yeah, I'll save it again. And we'll create a new file. We'll use the same imperial that we've been using. So it starts out all new. And starting on chapter 6, talking about blocks, are ways to save items for future use. And let me get to the right page. And if you look on page 309, there's a figure 6-2A that I want you to draw along with me. So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to be really quick. And all we're doing is just a shape. So let's create a level here, and right click, new layer. We're going to call this one block exercise 1. Maybe we'll make 2 of them, and I'll draw this in red. And I'll make my line weight fairly thick on the screen. And if I just click here or double click it, it makes that the active layer. Down here we can see we want our tracking on. Line weights to show. This is our line weight. So if you don't see this tool, remember you can come over here and pick out any tools that aren't showing up. So if I didn't want to see that, I click here. So just save some real estate. So now we're going to go to our line tool, and we're going to just start anywhere. We'll just create a line 8 inches across. Whoops, didn't mean to do that, sorry. 8 inches. Come down a distance of 12. And get an angle there. It doesn't really show what it is, so I'm just going to right click, and I'm going to draw a line straight down the middle, starting right here. 12 plus 2.5 is 14.5. And then we can grab this, connect it. Another line. Actually, we can remember our tools, delete this, select just these pieces. We'll do a mirror against a vertical axis. No, I don't want to erase it. There we go. I'm going to change my line weight now to 0.05, and I'm going to change my color to green. And I'm just going to draw a center line right down the middle, or just a straight line. And then we've got spacing 2 inches apart all the way down, and we'll go back. For fun, let's just make it a different color. We'll use this cyan color. And now we can just let it set right there until we see endpoint, come down 2, and just run a line straight across. Let's change our line weight to 0.2. Okay, I think that's what it is. Yeah. All right. So again, we can do this again right from here. Wait till it says endpoint, come down 2, hit enter, bring it across. Now what I can do is just select this one and take your copy tool. And we're going to use this as our base point, and this is our copy point. Okay, another little trick to speed things up. We've got a line in the middle, doesn't really tell us how long. It's probably going to go 3 in both directions. So if I just take my line tool now, and I'll change this to, let's change it to yellow. We'll start up here. We're going to come down 1 and go over here 3. Now if I just grab this, I can actually extend this 3 in this direction. Okay? And now watch, we can hit the copy tool, grab this point, and just keep copying it from that anchor point. All right, so that's a pretty easy way to set this up, but each piece now is still an individual object. So what we're going to do is select the whole thing, and we're going to say create. And what this means is a block definition. So we're going to create this as a block that says, what do we want to call it? We'll call it point thread, and I'll use all caps. And base point is, let's pick a point. And I want to pick this as my base point. That's the point where I'm going to place it on the screen. And specify on screen. It should work. Everything else is good. Block is in inches. And we could give it a description down here. We don't really need to. And just say OK. It doesn't look like much, but now if I hit this insert button, you'll see, whoops. Where did it go? Well, let's try it again. Oh, create. Let's just try it again. I'll just try point thread. Maybe I shouldn't have had just specify on screen. Let's just try it that way and see what happens. We'll say OK. Now insert. Don't need that. Sorry about this. Create. I'll probably find this, and there's about 6 of them in there. And just say OK. Point, specify on screen. Oh. Alrighty, what is going on here? Selected them all. I said create. There it is. Okay, I think I know what's going on. There we go. They changed it up on me and hit enter. I think. Let's try insert now. And there it is. So it's just the order of the way I was doing things. So hopefully I didn't waste too much of your time here. So if I wanted to insert this object now, by that insertion point, insert, point thread, it's going to always insert it. So if we do an insert, we say more options. Let's say we want to bring this in at 2 times the X scale and say OK. Now it's going to come in twice as wide. If I want to insert it, say more options, I want to bring it in at 2 times the Y scale, hit OK, and now it's going to come in twice as tall. So the ability to scale cells uniformly on the screen will also work. Now the other thing we can do is if you create an object, and let's say we want to make this our new piece, type in the command, and this is on page, of course if I read the book I probably figured out what was going on. A W block is a W block. I'm going to find the definition. It's on page 312 of the textbook. This allows you to put the block in a file so it can be extracted or brought in from any drawing file you have rather than just the one you're working in. So if we say create, or just type in W block, and we're going to give it a name. And it's always going to be, let's create a new folder on our desktop. In our folder, we're going to right click and say new folder, and this is going to be called blocks. Actually, I created that. And the block is going to be called point thread. And we'll say, actually we could say objects. Let's try objects. And we'll say OK. Select objects. This one. Hit enter. Now we've got it. It's in inches. And the base point, let's pick one right there. And just say OK. Now let's close this out. See if this works. Cancel. We'll just do a file. Close. No, I don't want to save it. We'll start a new drawing using that same template file. Let's look at insert, browse, and we can go look at there's our point thread drawing there, but if I go look at our desktop, 103, look in blocks, it's empty. I wonder if I got it in the wrong folder because it was showing up right. Well, let's try it again. Of course, I don't have it now. Let's open up our plate drawing, the old one. We'll just make a cell out of this piece. So we'll take our create, we'll call it plate. We'll say OK. Says specify an insertion point. We'll use that. Select the objects. We'll use that. Hit enter. And now when I go to insert, there's my plate. There's my title block from previously. Now let's try it again so I could take this and just place it on the screen. But now what I want to do is do a W block. It's under, I don't want it there, I want it under. So I think that's what happened is it got put in here. before, so let's just see if this, actually if that's the case, documents, let's say insert, more options, browse, point thread, open, okay. Oh, come on. More options, browse, point thread, open. Point thread's there. Now it says it's referencing itself. So anyway, we'll try it again. W block, sorry to keep running back and forth. Objects, we want to make sure these are going into the desktop, and we want them to go into our CIE 101 blocks. We'll call it plate. Hit save. Select objects. Enter. Pick the insertion point. Enter. And hit OK. It looked like something happened that time. So now let's close this out. No, I don't want to save it. We're back to our basic drawing. And we just come over here and say insert, browse, go to desktop, CIE 101 home, blocks, plate, open, and say OK. Oh, come on. Scale is 1:1. Hit OK. Block plate references itself. Let's close this out. No. Let's start a new drawing. I may have to do some work on insert, browse, plate. Let me just double click it and say OK. All right, so let's go up here. It says it's a dynamic, so I don't know why. Insert, plate, all right, why did it work that time? Insert, unless it was already in the, no, it works now. So you can see these center marks are a little big, so I type LT scale. We'll put them in at 2, and then they go back to where they should be. So anyway, with a little bit of difficulty, we are able to get those in. So any DWG file, anything can be a block, and you'll notice when I bring these in, when I select them, everything selects. So again, what happens if I want to manipulate this now and take it apart? All I do is type in explode, and now everything is back to individual pieces. As a matter of fact, it took these center marks and put them into whatever the default was on the screen. So if I actually go into my dimension for annotations for standard, manage dimension styles, these went back to their original settings that were set up in the default. So I'd have to go in and fix those. So in order to match those, you'd have to be in the same, everything is in there. So not a big deal, but you get the idea. Now, let's get rid of these, and I want to show you one more thing, and that is in the blocks, our block libraries that are actually embedded into Autodesk. So we're going to type in, and this shows up on, because we did the attribute blocks for the title block, but if you move to page 326, you're going to see the Design Center. And the Design Center, we're just going to type in the word Add Center. And you'll see it brought up this library, and you may not see this right off, but you're looking in the same menu. I want to be able to show it to you. You go down to Autodesk, you're going into Sample EN-US, just like it shows on 6-17A on the next page. Design Center is right here. So if I block this up, you're going to go to Design Center. Just double click or hit the plus sign. We can go down to kitchen drawings, house design. Let's look at some, let's look at some landscaping. And right up here we have blocks. So if I wanted to put a clump of trees out in my drawing, I could just double click on this, and it's going to be a scale of 1. So I just say OK, click on the screen, and then zoom out so I can see it. And again, this is a, just want to move this out of the way. So anytime I want to put one of these items on here, there's another tree, and I can just say OK, put you here. I'll put these are elevations, so we'll throw a north arrow out here, hit OK. And if I wanted to change the color, I'll just say I want it green. We'll grab this one. This time I want to put this in at 0.5. Whoops. Interesting. I don't want to explode it. That's, and 0.5. Try this. There we go. Sure why they don't change color though. So I think to get them to change color, they're probably coming in at whatever the layer is. So let's change the color on the layer. Let's see if that makes them change. Yep, so they're set up by layer on the colors themselves. So again, these came in as exploded, as did these, but this one here you'll see is a complete cell. So if I want to copy this, you could just grab the whole thing and place it on the screen. Okay, so all those fancy drawings you see aren't, they're basically using stuff. Here's a swimming pool. And specify on the screen. No, I want it to be 4 times as big. I want a big pool. No, it's too big. Oh well, throw it on there. So there's a swimming pool. You can do trees. Again, because we didn't explode these, you can select them, hit enter, and then copy them as much as you want on the screen. Okay. We look at some of the other items in here. We have hydraulics, kitchen, landscaping. We look in our house designer. We can see some blocks in here for door openings, staircases, pedestals, oval sinks. So these are all things that are in there, but you can also bring these in and adjust them. For instance, if I want this window, say I was drawing the elevation of the outside of a house, and I click on this window, double click it and say, well, I might want to change the size of that. So if I uncheck where it says uniform scale, and I don't know what, this is a 36 by 36 window. So let's say I actually want that to be 36 inches wide, but I want my height to be 48 inches. So what I'll do is type in 48 divided by 36 in the Y direction, leave the other two at 1. So what I should end up with is a 36 inch wide by 48 inch tall window. Hit OK. Place my window on the screen. We'll zoom into it. Let's go ahead and close this out and see if it measures. So here's my measuring tool. We'll just measure distance. This should be 36, which it is, and this should be 48. So it's a scalable cell. So if we have specific size windows, we can take that cell. Let's imagine we had one that's 52. Let's see if this works. Insert. Let's see, is that window right there? So I want to do an insert, more options. There's the window. This time the height I want to be 52 divided by 36. There it is. You can see it's taller. So now if we measure it from this point to this point, it's 52 inches. So it's another little trick that we can use. So even though you have an odd size, if you see a manufacturer's window that happens to be a specific unit dimension, you can actually scale that up and make it work for you. Okay, and that is blocks. So with that, again, go through that. Hopefully you can play around with those and do a little bit better than I did. You're going to input the plate number 2 into the week 4 assignment section. Mess around with some blocks. We'll do a little bit more maybe in lab, but we will start a new drawing next week using some curved lines. So we're going to start making things a little bit more difficult, but and maybe we'll make a few blocks as we go along. But this should get you settled in. Read through chapter 6 again. Get that homework in for week 3. Sometime, actually it's going to be next week now because you just have week 1 right now. So I'm kind of talking a week or so ahead of time. Don't procrastinate. Get this stuff done, and we'll be talking to you in lab. So that should do it for now. Thanks.